Hey everybody, I am here with the wonderful Ilana Schiffer. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm here with Ilana Schiffer and I discovered her amazing Instagram page, Jewish by Choice. And I'm fascinated by her journey and I know you will be too. So Ilana, welcome to Soul Sessions. Thank you for being on my show. Can you please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you're here to talk about?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm Ilana. I'm 27 now. I'm from Germany originally. Now I live in Israel. And I came here 2.5 years ago to start my conversion to Orthodox Judaism.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share my story with you guys.
Yes. Okay. So, what brought you to Israel to begin with? You came from Germany. Why Israel?
I wanted to travel with my sister, and someone recommended us to go to Israel. So it was more or less coincidence or just meant to be. We
Wow.
just wanted to get to know a new country and a new culture.
And what was it about Israel that like drew you in to their society and their culture and the people and Judaism?
Before I came to Israel, I knew nothing about the country, nothing about Judaism, and nothing about any culture that's going on here. So I was completely surprised in a positive way about anything and everything. The people were so lovely. I haven't experienced that anywhere before in the world. And then I got in contact with Judaism for the first time in my life. I've never met a Jew before consciously. So everything was just so fascinating, and it not only fascinated me in a rational way, but I just felt in my heart that something really meaningful is happening to me, and I wanted to know more and more about it. I wanted to experience Judaism and I just couldn't get enough, and I tried to go deeper and deeper into it. I went to a synagogue to experience the service, and I was just sitting there with my heart beating like crazy.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
actually
that's what
so.
happened when I was here for the first time.
And you never ever heard of Judaism or Jewish people or Israel when you were in Germany?
We learned about it in school, but just it was just as any other topic, so um, nothing special for me.
Wow. And then, so you went on a trip to Israel with your sister, and you were fascinated by the culture and the religion and everything about Israel. So, what made you decide from that trip, like, okay, I want to explore this much, much more, and I want to move here, and I want to convert to Judaism. Like, can you tell me a little bit about that process?
Yeah, sure. So when I returned back home, I just felt like I couldn't start my life over again in my old job, in my old home. I lived in Spain at that time, and I Googled Israel all the time during my work hours. I just felt like I need to be in contact with Jews and with the Jewish culture and the Jewish religion. So I contacted the synagogue in my city, which was Palma de Mallorca. I asked them if I can come for the service because I felt like I need this to be part of my life. I can't even live 1 week without it anymore.
That's
And yeah, from that
that's
moment on, I tried to learn as much as I could, and I tried to apply everything immediately. So I became a Jew from one day to the other, and then nothing made sense anymore. I felt like I want to have Jewish friends. I want to be surrounded by Jewish people and Jewish culture every day, and not just on Friday when the synagogue is open. So basically, 1 month after I returned from my vacation, I already started to prepare everything for moving to Israel.
so you came back from your trip, and literally 1 month in, you were like, I want to make Aliyah.
Yeah, I immediately wanted to return. Of course, I had to prepare some things like quit my job, and then I had to work a few more weeks, prepare my cat and the documents and everything, and then I came in autumn.
Wow. And tell me, how did your family or your friends think about this? Did they think you were strange or like, was there any resistance? Tell me about that a little bit.
My family and my friends know about me that I'm always a bit different and extra or special. So I never go the normal way. I'm always having special interests, and my family always knew that I'm not going to stay in Germany because that's just too boring for me. And of course, they think I'm crazy. They don't understand what I was looking for in a new religion. Like, we were not religious, none of my friends and none of my family members. But still, it's like, what do you need a religion for? Can't you just be happy without it? But everyone supports me. Everyone is very interested in everything regarding Judaism, and is actually fascinated by the culture as well.
Wow. And your background, like you're from Germany, but what else do you have in your background?
Nothing, I'm just German.
Just German and not religious. And did you
Exactly.
did you ever feel like in Germany like there was any like anti-Semitism? Did you ever see a Jewish person in Germany and like think a different way about them?
No, I've never experienced anti-Semitism, Baruch Hashem. And before I came to Israel for the first time, Jewish people were not really in my consciousness. Like, I never met them, or they were not a topic in my life or
Wow.
in my surroundings.
Hmm. And what is it about? I know you spoke about like religion and how like you needed to have religion. Why the Jewish religion? Why not Christianity? Why not Buddhism? What was it about the religion of Judaism that attracted you above all the other religions for meaning and connection?
Yeah. So, first of all, I wasn't really looking for a religion and then I picked the one I like the most. It's rather like happened to me. So it's not that I tried Christianity, then I tried Buddhism. I wasn't looking for a new religion. So from an emotional perspective, it just happened to me. But then when I started learning, I just saw that Judaism is the only truth and there can't be any other truth, because first of all, it's the first religion, and a religion that has so much depth, and the Torah, like literally every single letter is a meaning, has a meaning, and is from Hashem, and this is so obvious, and there's no other religion that can give me anything like that.
It just speaks your truth, and you find so much truth in Judaism, from what I see. Wow. So, can you tell us a little bit about the conversion process? How that is? Was it difficult? How long did it take? What's required of someone who wants to convert to Judaism? Is it easy?
Um, a conversion requires a lot from us candidates, but if you really want it and if you live for it, then it's easy. Of course, you should be an observant Jew, you should be determined and have a lot of strength and bravery as well, because you have to fight for it a lot, and people don't gift it to you. So every step is like a little fight. You have to convince people, you have to study a lot by yourself and in classes. The process here in Israel takes around 12 months to 1.5 years. Mine took a bit longer. But I think if you have the right motives and intentions, then it's not a difficult process. And for everyone who really wants it, you can succeed.
Right. And what are the requirements for someone to become an Orthodox Jew? Like for those people who don't know what it takes. So I know like you have to study, like what else is there? You have to study, what do you have to study
Yeah,
again?
it's an official conversion course. At least here in Israel, we go to classes with around 25 people. If you do the conversion outside of Israel, it's probably different. You might even have a private teacher because there are not so many candidates in your area. But we were a lot of people from all over the world. We had to study for 10 months, twice a week for in total 450 hours. So
Wow.
that's 6 hours a week. You have to spend Shabbat like almost every Shabbat with different families, and that's your responsibility to find yourself one or several host families. Because in the class you learn the theory, and then with the family you learn the practice. And yeah, then of course it's required that you observe what you learn. So every time you learn something new in the class, the next week you should be ready to observe it.
Mm-hmm. And I heard that with people who are converts, that they have to keep like everything in order to be Jewish. Am I wrong? This is just like the perception that you get, or what you hear, that you have to hear everything, whereas someone who is born Jewish, like, they're still Jewish. Is that the same with a convert?
That's a very difficult topic, and that's probably also the most difficult part of the conversion process, because yes, you definitely get the impression, and I think it's even true, that they require from you to keep and observe everything, and this is really overwhelming, because you're just a human, like we are just human beings, just like every Jew. We make mistakes, we sometimes don't feel ready, sometimes we are not in the spiritual place where we are able to do everything, but it is required from us that we do everything, like as much as we can. Yeah, that's pretty tough, because that also puts us sometimes in the position that we feel like we have to be the perfect Jew, and even better than any other Jew in our community. That's really hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So would you say like that's one of the hardest parts?
Yeah.
To be this like perfect Jew.
Yeah, the expectation.
Has there ever
of course
been?
You want to prove that you can be the perfect Jew.
Right. And because of that, do you feel like any sense of, like a stigma around people who are converting to Judaism? Do you feel like you're looked at differently than someone who was Jewish their whole life?
It might be true that all those expectations and the pressure that I felt to be the perfect Jew was only in my head, because I've never really heard that from anyone in the community. They were super supportive during my conversion, and I got a lot of incredible experiences from them. Like, for example, one family clapping for me for 1 minute straight just because I told them that I'm converting. People calling me their daughter and telling me they want to adopt me because they find it so special. So a lot of positivity. Yeah, so that was really wonderful.
Do you
and a
feel
lot
like
of support.
Yeah. Do you feel like the people in America who convert, do you feel like they have a similar experience, or is it different?
I hear that it's a bit harder for them, because the communities outside of Israel are sometimes a bit more reserved, also because of the circumstance that they have to protect their safety because of events that have happened to them. And I mean, if you come to Israel and you do the conversion here, it's very obvious that you're really into it. But outside of Israel, some people just have the idea, oh, I want to convert, and I will just start. And then after a while, they change their mind. So I understand that communities outside of Israel are a bit more careful of who to trust and who to invest in. But if you are determined and you show them how much you want it, you will get the same support like me. I'm sure about that.
Yeah. And tell me about like your friends in Israel. Like, what kind of people are you friends with? Are you friends also with are there other people who converted that you became friends with? Tell me a little bit about like your community in Israel.
Yeah, so I have a lot of friends that I met by the strangest in the strangest situations, like when I hitchhiked, or one of my friends is the lady where I bought my lulav from. And then I have a lot of friends from Germany who are Jewish already, or friends who are Israeli, because who are religious and not religious, because it's just interesting to hang out with every kind of Jew. And also people who are converting, because of course we share the same story and we can support each other emotionally here.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have a support system of people who know exactly what you went through, what you're going through now, that you share a common goal, and you also share a common like struggle per se. Um, can you tell me any other struggles you may have had with converting, things that were difficult for you besides the aspect of like this pressure that you brought upon yourself to be this perfect Jew? Are there any other things that were very difficult for you?
Yeah, so what felt really overwhelming as well was the fact that it felt like my life is in other people's hands, like the Beit Din and the ones who decide about if I can convert and when I'm ready for the next step. Um, they decided like when I am allowed to become a Jew, and that time was really tough for me because they canceled my meetings, they canceled my Beit Din meetings, and now a lot of converts or people in the process are experiencing that because of Corona. And it feels like you're in an airport to fly home, but they're not letting you on that plane. And you're just like, come on, I just want to get home. Just let me on this plane, but no one lets you.
Is
And
is it
yeah,
is it because of the Israeli bureaucracy and like all these different steps you have to take? Like, was that what was stopping them really? Or
yes, I think it's a mix of bureaucracy and testing us if we fight until the end.
oh, really?
Yeah, I was very close to giving up even after 2 years, but um, only people who really, really wanted to stay until the final.
So you would say like when people are going through conversion process, the Beit Din and the rabbis, they make it extra hard for you to see if you really want this.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. And can you tell me now, when did you fully convert? Tell me about your experience now as a fully Jewish woman. When did you officially get your conversion degree?
So I went to the mikveh on the 17th of February, right before Corona started, and
Wow.
thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, and
Amazing.
wow, of course it. I so unfortunately I wasn't able to experience a lot of community life, but what I felt was just relief, and all the pressure went from the shoulders, and it felt like I'm healing from a trauma because the conversion was not just a happy journey, it was a huge fight. And now I don't have to prove myself anymore. I can just go to the synagogue. I don't have to prove anymore that I'm the perfect Jew. I'm just a Jew, just like anyone else. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to ask for permission. I can just pour wine for everyone and not say, no, I'm the non-Jew, I can't touch it. So all the uncomfortable situations are gone, and it feels wonderful just to be, it feels like now I'm on the same level as anyone else, and I can just experience my Judaism how I feel like I want to live it.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, that's such a different feeling from other people I've spoken to who have converted to Judaism, and they've been convert for like some of them 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And with some of these people I talk to, there is still this feeling of like, yes, I'm fully Jewish now, but there's still this feeling of like I'm still not 100% accepted by the various communities, because I also feel like, as you said, in America or outside of Israel, the communities here are just so much more insular, and they try to protect themselves, and there's more, not clickiness, but there's more fences around the community, which I feel like can feel very isolating for people who just don't fit every single criteria. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I think it should not be like that because the Torah says that you should love the converts very often. So that means that we deserve the high level of respect for us, for our journey, but also for joining the Jewish tribe or Jewish nation. And um, I heard it a lot, especially from the rabbi who teaches us in our conversion class, that converts have even a higher spirituality or higher level of holiness than born Jews because we chose it. And it's hard to say that about myself, but he said we should never feel inferior, and that's what I'm trying to do, because it would be just wrong and even against the Torah to feel any less than a born Jew. And I also changed my community, not because I really wanted to change it, but I moved, and I think it's healthy to have a new start, not to be Ilana the convert, but just to be Ilana.
Beautiful. Where do you live now in
People who
Israel?
meet me now.
Where do you live now?
I live in Netanya.
Oh, very nice. And where did you live before in Israel when you were trying to convert?
Most of the time I lived in Herzliya, I lived in Tel Aviv, and also in Bat Ain in Gush Etzion. So I was in different conversion schools and different environments.
Wow, beautiful. So I wanted to tell you that you were mentioning about how the rabbi was saying that converts have really a higher level of spirituality because they chose this. It didn't just fall in their lap. They weren't born with it. So your passion, I'm seeing it right now just by talking to you, your passion and your enthusiasm and your like thirst for wisdom, Jewish wisdom, you don't see it. You don't see it so much. I mean, yes, like here and there you have people who are very, very passionate about Judaism, people who are quote unquote from birth or Balei Tshuva, but it's very different when it comes to someone like you, that you had to make a complete 180. It's just fascinating, and I'm just so inspired by you that something that maybe I or other people took for granted is something that like you're desiring and you're choosing every single day. So, wow, it's remarkable. It's really remarkable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So can you tell me more about any like benefits and positives you see of like being a Jewish convert?
Can you specify that question?
So like, what's one of the benefits you would see that you're a convert as opposed to like that you wouldn't have it if you were just a born Jew?
Yeah, I think we see, like what I feel is I see the beauty in every single mitzvah. And when I started to choose Judaism, I didn't see it as, wow, now I have to do 360 mitzvot. I just felt like, wow, I have the pleasure and the honor to be able to do this one more mitzvah in order to come closer to Hashem. So we appreciate everything we can do, or we start to be allowed to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I hear that right now, Israel, Baruch Hashem, is slowly but surely opening up. They opened up the schools and they're opening up stores and all of that. So right now that things are opening up and you're out of this quarantine mode, how do you see yourself, going back to Israeli society? What are you doing and all of that?
I actually enjoyed quarantine time a lot. I like to be at home and by myself. So now I'm starting to date.
Wow. How is that? How is the dating?
Yeah, because
in Israel?
I mean, it's easy to find a Jew. It's great it's easy to find a Jew who has the qualities that I was looking for, like family oriented and with the values of having a lot of children. That was hard for me, for example, in Germany, to find someone like that, and to be invited to the family immediately and find a new family, because I'm here by myself, so it's wonderful to have a new family. And yeah, so it's great so far.
So how do you go about dating? Are there like, you go by shadchanim, or how does it work over there with you?
Well, I did it with an application.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, the modern way of finding someone. So yeah.
And what do you? I noticed that you were promoting something on your Instagram about a consulting agency. Is that your consulting agency? Can you tell us a little bit about that, what that's all about?
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like after my conversion, I knew so much about how to convert and how to succeed in your conversion, like also how to open your fire the Beit Din, how to talk to a rabbi, and all these things that appear during the process. So I just want to give my knowledge and my experience to conversion candidates, because when you're in the beginning of that journey, you have no idea what to do and how to do it, what is appropriate, what is expected from you. And this is what I can provide. And now I teamed up with Noam, who is a conversion teacher here in Israel, and now we accompany conversion candidates through the whole conversion.
What's the name of the company? It's called, I forgot what it was called, the name of the company.
I would just say it's Jewish by choice, just like my Instagram name.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you were to give one piece of advice to someone who said, Ilana, I want to become Jewish, I want to convert, what would you say to them?
I would say if it's really the desire of your soul, then go for it. Go on your own speed, don't rush, because it's healthy to experience every new mitzvah in its full spirituality. And yeah, come closer to Hashem and be determined to go every day one step further and closer to Judaism.
Beautiful.
And definitely live Judaism for a while, because to say I want to be Jewish is easy, but to live Judaism is quite challenging. So if you experience that after a certain time, this is still your thing, then it's meant to be.
Okay, and any piece of advice you would love to give to people who were always Jewish and how they can be more inclusive maybe of converts? Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, so we converts, we were born with a Jewish soul, but in a non-Jewish body. So the only thing we do is convert our body into a Jewish body. So our soul was on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai, and we're just like you. We're just converting our body. So
Sorry, I lost you for a bit. Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I will try to. I will
No,
just repeat it. So
what I heard is that you want to tell them that converts, they had a Jewish soul and they were in Har Sinai, but you didn't have a Jewish body, and the conversion process is about, just go over that, like converting your body.
Yeah, exactly. So that means we are the same. Our soul is just as Jewish as yours, and I hope that people can see that, and that we are not the convert. We are just the Jew who is in the non-Jewish body.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Ilana, is there any other message? What are some of your hopes and dreams that you have for the world? What are some of your hopes and dreams?
Yeah, I hope that all the Jewish souls can return to Am Yisrael, and that the world in general comes closer to Hashem even without being Jewish.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Ilana. I learned so much from you. I learned so much from your journey and how we all need to be so much more inclusive about Jews from all walks of life, whether you're from birth, Bali Tshuva, convert, but at the end of the day, all these labels don't matter, because a Jew is a Jew is a Jew. And and what you said is that, I just want to be Ilana at the end of the day. And that's really beautiful. Well, I forgot to ask you this question, actually. I'm very interested. Was your name always Ilana, or this was your name that you received?
That's my Jewish name. My German name is Juliana. And
What
when I came to Israel,
I didn't hear. Juliana?
Yeah,
Oh wow, okay. So you changed it to Ilana. Why
yeah.
Ilana? Why did you decide to get Ilana as a name?
It's the Jewish version of Juliana. It's very similar, and it's like, mm, yeah, it's like I'm becoming Jewish, so I can also be the Jewish version, not only of myself, but also the Jewish version of my name.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Ilana. I learned so much from you, and I'm sure everybody who's listening now really, really got inspired by you. And how can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
You find me on Instagram. It's Jewish by Choice. I also have my blog and my website, also jewishbychoice.com.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much, Ilana.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down, and I'll make sure everybody knows about it when I put up the post. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye.